For a long time now, I've been talking about doing a video series discussing a specific area of my music career, something that I've been doing as a hobby for, I'd say, like 10 years, but it has moved into a professional capacity in only the last 2. I've had a few setbacks in the process of bringing that series to you, both in my personal life and in the practical level of how I wanted to actually present it to you. But I have overcome these challenges at least enough to start putting them out, so let's talk about scoring.
Film scores. It's about film scoring.
Yes. Oh! Hello. My name is Patrick Leindecker, and I've been stumbling my uneducated self through music production for over 20 years, with nothing to show for it but a growing collection of musical instruments and this YouTube channel. So, here are some of the things that I've taught myself about movie music. Every film scoring project is going to be a little bit different due to either director's choice or the amount of creative control that I have over the score, the emotional tone of the project, or just myriad other variables. No two projects will be the same, so my writing process is going to be a little bit different for each project as well. That being said, for the sake of this video, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to some of the common methods that I use to attack the process. And the videos that follow in this series will each dive into specific film scores as I work on them, showing more in depth the process of how I work on each project. If I'm brought onto the production team before filming has begun, I really like to be on set when it's being recorded if possible. This way I can begin building the soundscape in my head while seeing how the piece is coming together. Pre-building tone and voices, timing, and kind of being able to take some preliminary notes. Also, this gives me a chance to hear the environment that the movie takes place in and allows me to get some natural samples that I can then incorporate into the final score. This can add to the cohesion between what people hear and what people see when they're watching the final product. This is especially useful in projects that take place in an outdoor setting. Spotting is a hugely important part of the scoring process, especially if I'm brought in after shooting is wrapped. This is where the director, myself, or anyone directly involved in the post-production will sit down and watch the film together, going scene by scene and discussing the emotional tone or goal of each scene, where there will or will not be music, and how best to use the sound to add to the tone of the individual parts, and also the overall project. This meeting gives the director a chance to let me know their intentions for the production and how they want my music to accompany that goal. And it gives me a chance to explain how I can best meet their needs and express any ideas or intentions that I have for the project. The next step is actually to begin building the score. I select the instruments or voices that I will be using, orchestrating the piece, and recording. Now, as I said earlier, I'm not going to go too deep into this step of the process, as the following videos in this playlist will address this with actual scores that I have worked on in the past or that I'm currently working on. It is nice during the editing process to get rough preliminary cuts of the film, assuming that it's not fully edited already. It gives me a chance to start putting the music to the timing of the picture and gives me like a head start on the structure for the score. It speeds up the process of finalizing when I do end up getting the final cut. It also gives me a chance to send some of the rough music to the director and the editor, giving them a chance to hear where the music is headed and potentially affect how the editing is done, or maybe give them some new ideas to incorporate with the editing. In my opinion, being able to bounce ideas between different departments during the editing process makes for a much more cohesive finished product. When everything is built with each other piece in mind, allowing for continued communication and inspiration, incorporating innovations project-wide, it all seems to work well together and feel more like one achieved goal, like synergy. And it feels more unified than when you have a bunch of separate parts made individually at different times and just all put together at the end, kind of hoping they fit. But admittedly, that is not always possible just due to scheduling or budget or whatnot. Now the last step is actually taking my finished version of the score and sending it to the director for any notes, making any necessary changes or adjustments until everybody is happy with it. And it varies from project to project how many rewrites will happen. Then I make sure that the final mix is polished. I get a good clean final master of the whole score timed to the final cut of the film, and I give the director the finished product. That is a fairly quick and general overview of my process for film scoring. Again, the rest of the videos in this series will dive deeper into my process with specific projects. Starting that off will be a 5-part series of me working on a movie called Ferox. If you are watching this before I have uploaded those videos and you want to cheat a little bit, I will be putting a link to that finished film right here and in the description below. Plus, I also have a playlist of film scores that I have worked on that contain some of the music that I did for that film as well. And that is going to do it for this video introduction to my film scoring series. Thank you again for watching. Let me know in the comments below if there are any specific aspects of film scoring that you would like me to spend more time talking about in future videos. And if you happen to know anybody that might be interested in this kind of stuff, feel free to share this video with them. It really helps me out when you spread the word. Thank you again for watching this video, and I will see you in the future.